Good day, my mighty Baboon. We are back in our Factorio playthrough, and last time we finished our mining operation, and today our main goal is going to generate power. We are currently mining iron, copper and stone using coal, and we want to switch from coal to electricity. In addition to that, at the moment we still need to manually add fuel to the different miners and smelters, and we also want to get rid of that completely and automate fuel supply. You might ask your French Baboon, we worked so hard to put down all these coal drills. Why do we need to switch our mining operation from coal to electricity? Well, my dear friends, there are a few reasons. First of all, right now we are still manually supplying fuel to these miners, and don't expect your lazy baboon to continue to do that for a long time. And I know you could say, if it's only about automating the supply chain, why don't you supply coal through a transporter belt? And this brings me to my second point. Electricity miners are much more efficient. They mine a faster area, generate less pollution, and they just mine faster. In fact, coal miners are so much inefficient that we are not going to build another for the rest of the game. In addition to that, through the game, electricity will be the main power resource, and that's much easier to manage than others, like coal, wood or whatever. Now, how are we going to generate power? There are many ways to do that through the game, but the only way accessible for us at the moment is going to generate electricity from steam. So how is it going to work? We will need to pump water with a pump. What a surprise. And then we will need to send this water to a boiler. This boiler, when supplied with some sort of fuel like coal, will transform the pumped water into steam. And we will then send the steam to a steam machine. And the steam machine is going to consume steam and generate electricity out of it. So southeast of our base, we have a small lake, and that's going to be the perfect spot to place the pump. The size of the lake does not matter at all. As long as the pump has access to water, it's going to be fine. So I'm going to place it here. Next, we place the boiler here. You see it has one water input and output so that we can daisy chain a lot of boilers, and it's going to be useful as we expand our operation. So on the boiler there is another output, and this one is going to generate steam. So we can place a steam engine out of it, and one steam engine is going to consume 30 steam, whereas the boiler produces 60 steam. That means we have a 2-to-1 ratio, and we can place 2 steam engines for each boiler. So you can start with this setup, it's going to be sufficient for a while, but I like to place 4 steam engines at the beginning of the game, just so that we have time to focus on other things rather than power generation for a while. This will also let me to show you how to daisy chain the boilers. We can place the boilers here, and the water is automatically going to be pumped in both of the boilers. One pump can pump up to 1,200 liters of water per second, while one boiler uses up to 60 liters of water per second. That means, if my math is correct, that we will be able to daisy chain up to 20 boilers on one pump. Now that's nice, we have our steam power plant, but we still do not have electricity. And that's because there is currently no fuel in the station. So what are we going to do? Well, first we will need to go back to our coal ore patch, and we are going to place 2 electric drills there. They are obviously not going to drill right now because we do not generate electricity, but we are going to use these drills to generate coal for our power plant. To bring the coal mine to the power plant, we are going to place a conveyor belt in front of the miners and drag the belt until we arrive to the boilers. Same with other entities in the game, we can rotate the belt by pressing R. And so the miners are going to deposit coal on the belt, and it's going to automatically slowly bring them to the boilers. Now that looks nice, but we are still missing a few things. First, we will need something that is going to take the coal from the belt and place it into the boilers. And to do that, we are going to use an object that does just that, an inserter. We have 2 kinds of inserters available at the moment, a burner inserter and an inserter. The main difference is going to be how we power them, and if you are not stupid like your French Baboon, you will already have deduced that the burner inserter is going to be powered by any kind of fuel, like coal, and the inserter is going to be powered by electricity. In addition to their power source, they also have different rotation speed. For instance, the burner inserter turns turn 216 degrees per second, whereas the inserter turns 302 degrees per second. Any inserter needs to do a 360 degrees to take one stack of core from the belt and place it into the boiler and then go back to the belt. That means that for the moment they are only going to be able to take less than 1 core per second out of the belt, but that's going to be plenty enough here. Usually I will use inserters everywhere, but here is going to be the only place where I am going to use burner inserters. And the reason is that because they need coal to work and that there is already coal on the belt. That means they are still going to be able to work even if there is a power shortage. Now that's nice. We are going to be able to feed boilers with coal, but we now need to take the electricity that's going to be produced by the steam engines back to the electric drills. And to do that, we will use electric poles. When you take one, you can see the blue area under the pole is the reach of this pole. And what that means is that anything in that area that produces electricity will give electricity to the pole. We then are going to drag the pole back to the electric drills. And to do that, just click and move. It's going to automatically put down poles. I stay next to the conveyor so that everything keeps nice and tidy. And here we will place poles next to the drills. We need to make sure that they are under the reach of at least one pole. And did you see there are now a new red icon on the drills? This indicates that there is no power that supplies the drills. And that's because the boilers are currently not supplying steam to the engines. So the last thing we need to do is to take some coal and place it into the boilers to jumpstart our power plant. While I'm here, let's also put some coal back to these furnaces. And alright, let's go back to the boilers. Are you ready? Here we go. As soon as I put the coal in the boilers, the steam engine started, and we are now producing electricity. If we go back up north, we are going to see that our miners have started to mine coal. Very nice. Each of them consume 19 kilowatts, and we can check that by clicking on a pole, and this will show us some information about the network the pole is connected to. So here we can see we have 2 drills consuming 180 kilowatts in total, and we have 4 steam engines producing 180 kilowatts. At the top we can change the time frame, and so we can see on the graph that we have been consuming electricity for nearly 1 minute now. Here on the top left we have satisfaction, the amount of power being produced out of power currently required. So this is the power load on the network, and as long as it is green, that means we produce enough electricity. Then we have production, the amount of power currently produced out of maximum power production. So this is the amount of power we are able to produce. As long as the bar is not full, we are fine. And if the bar is nearly full, that is an indication that we need to produce more electricity. The last one is accumulator charge, and we do not need to care about that at the moment. This is going to be useful later in the game when we are going to start harnessing solar power to produce electricity. Alright, we have our beautiful automated power plant. Let's have a look at our system. We have electric drills that mine coal ore, a conveyor belt that takes these ores back to the power plant. At the power plant, we have inserters that take coal and put them into boilers. Boilers pump water and burn coal to produce steam. And that steam is sent to engines that turn steam into electricity. And that electricity is sent back to the drills through electric poles. And that is a beautiful auto-sufficient cycle, my friends. It makes your French Baboon very happy. And that's in my view the beauty of Factorio. When you spend some time, build something, and then you watch everything just flawlessly functioning. How satisfactory. And with that, my friend, that's going to be it for today. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and to add a like, it really helps the channel. And in the next episode, we are going to look at how to bring all our mining operation to electric power, how to create blueprints, and also how to do research to unlock new components, because we are seriously limited at the moment. See ya!